What is going on, guys? Michael and Jared back here, Have More Than Money. In today's video, we are going to be discussing where to get started in business and entrepreneurship if you have zero experience. And so this topic is going to be for people of all ages. So whether you are 17 years old, you know you want to own a business someday, up to if you're 70 years old and you think there's something more out there for you, and like I said, you want to get started in business.
Yeah, Mike, you really, you put it best that, no matter what age you are, it's never too late to, start your first side hustle or main hustle. If you're 55 and you're about to retire, then maybe, a business is what you need to find fulfillment in the latter years of your life. If you're in your early 20s or even younger, then I'm telling you that the earlier you start, the happier you'll be. If I started when I was 17, 18, and I honestly wish I started when I was 15. And if you start at 25, you're going to wish you started at 22. If you start at 30, you're going to wish you started at 20. So, if you're older, younger, doesn't matter. There's no better time to start your first business than right now.
Yeah, exactly. And so what we really want to do in this video is kind of give you guys, like I said, a starting point. So what can you do today to set yourself up? So, maybe you don't have your first business, your first e-com site opened up tomorrow morning, but things that can get you on the right path. And so I personally think that the best way for anyone to change their life is their habits. And so habits is something that me and Jared really hit home with our mentees and our clients that we have in our community. Jared, you want to just kind of talk a little bit about examples of good habits and like kind of the impact they can have?
Yeah. So, let's just think about it right now. Like, what do you do naturally when you get home from work, or if you're not working, what do you gravitate towards? Do you instantly turn the TV on, or do you open a book? Do you instantly turn your PlayStation on, or do you turn your laptop on? What are your habits? Ultimately, the people that are finding success is just because of thousands of choices that they made over the span of months. Your life is nothing but the sum of your choices. So think about it. All of your results up to this day, whether you're muscular or fat, skinny, whether you're rich as hell or broke, that is all a result of the choices you've made every single day leading up to this point. So, your habits are the first thing that you need to, rethink about. So ultimately, if you're someone that's looking to get started, we recommend 3 different businesses, and they're all for 3 different stages of life. And the 3 businesses that we recommend today that we find are producing the best results would be dropshipping, which is what we do, which is what allowed us to become financially free, starting a YouTube channel, or beginning to buy real estate. And another thing that I really have found to be really good for kids, in the YouTube realm would be Instagram as well. So building an Instagram page, building a YouTube channel, building a dropshipping business, or buying real estate are what I believe the best opportunities for anyone looking to start their first hustle or side hustle today.
Yeah. And so before we dive into, I know Jared kind of just briefly mentioned the business models that, you can pick up if you are someone who's just getting started and doesn't have a lot of money. Let's just backtrack a little bit into habits. And so habits are kind of a funny thing. Bless you, Jared.
Thank you.
I know Jared used the word choices. And so that's such a great way to put it, is that at the end of the day, you have a choice every single day. And that sounds like just super cliche, but it's really the truth. And so I guess we could just leave it down to common sense. Who is more likely to know more about making money? The person who reads books written by millionaires and billionaires, or the person who sits and watches Netflix all day? Who's gonna become more wealthy? The person who listens to that entrepreneur podcast on the way to work, or the person who listens to the news in the morning? And so I can keep making these comparisons, but at the end of the day, I think it's quite obvious that if you choose good habits over time, it'll compound. And I definitely think Jared and I are living and breathing examples of this. And I don't want to say that we wake up in the morning and from the time we wake up to the time that we go to sleep, that it's only filled with good habits. And Jen, I know this is something that you really talk about with our clients. If you want to just kind of dive a little bit more about how you don't have to completely cut out negative habits, right?
Yeah. So I think a misconception that people have with business and life in general is that people always tend to believe that it has to be all or nothing, and that couldn't be further from the truth. When it comes to working out, starting a business, or ultimately changing your life, it never has to be all or nothing. Think about it. To become in good shape, you don't need to give up. You don't need to completely give up, fatty foods or, relaxing. To start a business, that doesn't mean you need to quit your job. That doesn't mean you need to uproot your life. That doesn't mean you need to change anything. All you need to do is add the tasks of 1 to 2 hours a day of working toward your business. You don't need to give up your favorite Netflix show. You don't need to give up anything, but what you need to do is you need to make time for that. So yes, there will be sacrifice, because ultimately you will have to fit that in, and with fitting that in, you will have to give things up. But when I say you don't have to, it's because you don't have to give them up completely. Me and Mike, we could have just played video games all day and watched TV all day, but instead we realized that video games and TV and hanging out, it's not going to lead to the results we want. If we were going to get the mansion that we wanted, the car that we wanted, the life that we wanted, help our family the way we wanted, then ultimately we have to do something about it. One of the best things you can do is realize that success is your primary responsibility, and it's ultimately your obligation, and it's ultimately up to you. You cannot blame anybody else for the results in your life. You are the sum of everything that happens in your life. If you make 5 excuses, there's only one common denominator to the excuses, and that's you. So what is the other option? The other option is to take responsibility. Me and Mike both started dead broke, and guess what? We didn't make excuses, but instead took responsibility, and that's how we knew that in the future we would be wealthy, because we took full responsibility for our results. So even though it may not have been our fault that we were born broke, we knew that if we remained broke, we have no one to blame but ourselves.
Yep. And that was a great speech. I honestly feel like tearing up again. I know.
I love. It's good when it's good when you're tearing up.
Honestly, dude, I feel like crying. I think I'm just tearing up because I forgot to blink there for a bit.
Yeah.
And exactly everything you said was spot on, Jared. And I do want to backtrack a little bit to the point about cutting out bad habits completely. The whole reason that Jared and I took up entrepreneurship was to do whatever the hell that we wanted to do, So if we wanted to spend our day playing video games, sleeping, watching TV, then we have the right to do that, Like when you have a business that is automated, or mostly for the most part automated, you can do whatever you want. And so some days, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I'll wake up and I'll just feel lazy. I'll wake up at 10:30, drink a cup of coffee, maybe watch some TV, and then get to work. But the point is that I have the choice to do that because I made better choices a year ago today, 2 years ago today, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and a quote that I like to say is that your results today have nothing to do with the work you did today in business. Yesterday, I actually just did $56,000 in sales on one of my stores. And that has nothing to do with the amount of work that I put in yesterday. I actually didn't really do anything yesterday. And, we still profited probably $8,000 or $9,000. Why? Because of the work that was put in years ago, and that's the beautiful part about this, is that, when you're starting a business as opposed to a job, you're going to do tasks that will set you up for life. So, back to, the title of this video, which is along the lines of, how to get started, what to do. The 3 options, like we said, are real estate, YouTube, and e-commerce. You can join our community because we teach all 3. For the average person, I think e-commerce is the quickest and most direct route to success. And when we say e-commerce, we always mean high-ticket dropshipping using Google Ads. It's really the best business model to become financially free online today. And if you're interested in learning it, then work with us because we're happy to mentor you.
Yeah, and obviously Jared just outlined 3 business models that we recommend to our students. And if there's maybe something else that you're interested in, then by all means pursue it. And so that's a good segue into the next thing that I want to say. Google is your friend. Google is an awesome free resource where if you're interested in anything, just search it in Google, search it in YouTube, always just continue to learn and educate yourself. So that way, when the time comes, you are ready for that action. And I know a great Les Brown quote, which one of my favorites, he says, it's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared.
Yeah.
So,
it's a great quote.
Maybe right now you don't have any money saved up to start your e-commerce store, but that doesn't stop you from researching niches, finding high ticket suppliers that could win for you, learning about Google ads, things like this. There's no excuse. Maybe, like I said, maybe you can't start your business today, tomorrow, this week, this month, but that does not mean that you cannot educate yourself.
Yeah, and I love that you said Google is your friend, because Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, TikTok, all these social media platforms, it's like, which side are you on? Are you on the one producing content or the one absorbing the content? If you're the one absorbing it, then ultimately you might just be wasting time. But if you're producing the content, then you can be using any of these social media platforms that you probably spend a lot of your time on anyway to be making money. I used to be, an Instagrammer like everyone else, where I just post it for fun. And then I realized, the likes, the comments, they don't mean anything. It's like superficial, it's irrelevant. But then when I decided to start using Instagram more of like a business, and what I did is I started promoting me and Mike's Shopify results and offering mentorship, those likes weren't as meaningless, because the likes and comments were ultimately leading to clients. And now we're building a great community that's helping people all over the world. So it's like, it's your choice. You can continue to use social media as just a waste of time and just a way to slack off, or it can be your best friend and ultimately create the biggest source of income that you couldn't have even imagined, because there are people making millions and millions of dollars using YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. And me and Mike, we made it dropshipping, and our next goal now is to start making millions using social media, and that's it. If you're looking to get started, like we said, we offer great mentorship on dropshipping, mentorship on real estate, mentorship on YouTube. Obviously, as to which one is the best for you, the best way for you to find that out would be to join our community, because we outline all three. We outline the pros and cons of all three. We outline the mindset that it takes to succeed in all three. And ultimately, once you see all that, then you can make the educated decision as to which one is the best option for you. So, whether you're 21, 17, or 55, what you can't afford is to keep wasting time. You need to get started, because in the end of the day, you're either going to become successful or you're going to gain experience and knowledge, which always leads to success. And the only time it doesn't lead to success is if you quit.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, we're circling back to this idea of a choice, because in case you guys haven't been able to tell from this entire video, you have the choice. It may not feel like, you may feel stuck, but you do. And I love that analogy that you just said, Jared, how, platforms like Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, they're there for everyone. They're free to join. You can either go on Twitter for, the funny memes, or, there's an entire side of Twitter that is literally just meant for entrepreneurship and business. You can, me and Jared always say that your YouTube suggested videos say a lot about a person. And
very
honestly,
true.
You could probably tell a person's success based on their YouTube suggested videos.
Yeah. If you look at either me or Mike's, you're going to find a lot of motivation, a lot of just good books, a lot of get wealthy type things, successful living things. The algorithm knows you better than you know yourself. So it's feeding you exactly what you want to watch. And honestly, that's where we started. Both of us, I would say, is just watching YouTube videos, listening to books, watching business models on YouTube, watching people live the life we wanted to live. YouTube's a great place to start getting free information. But ultimately, what you do need to realize is that trying to make it from free information alone, it's like in any industry, it's like you need to pay for tools. If you wanted to play sports, you need to pay for the proper equipment. If you wanted to work out, you need to pay for the proper equipment. If you wanted to do anything, everything requires money. So it's like when it comes to starting your own business, the proper equipment is more or less the knowledge. So it's like if you're going to try to make it off free YouTube videos, then it might take you 2 years to accomplish what others can accomplish in a few months. And that's why that's why we created the mentorship, to give people the opportunity to do things in a fraction of the time. People that join our mentorship ultimately are putting themselves in a position to accelerate their success and to vet out all the bull, and to ultimately, like we said, accomplish in 3 to 6 months what it would have taken 2 to 3 years to do had you not joined the program.
Yeah, and I mean that's a good segue to the next point that I want to make is, no matter what age you are. So if there is a 16-year-old watching this, the next thing that you can do is start saving your money, because there is no profitable business that you can find or that you can start that won't require a little bit of money up front. Our main business model that we recommend is high ticket dropshipping, as we mentioned, and we usually recommend having $2,000 to $3,000 saved up, just so you can front some orders, a couple small apps you have to pay for. But
yeah,
at the end of the day, the point I'm trying to make is you need to spend some money to make money.
And that, not to cut Mike off, but that segues into the 3 business models that we mentioned. Pretty much which one is right for you. Definitely the amount of money you have definitely has an impact. If you have absolutely no money, then you can start making YouTube videos like the one we're making right now for free. I mean, all we did is hop on a call and record it, and you put it out, and if you keep doing it for a year straight every day, your YouTube channel will eventually become monetized and you'll be able to make money off it. So if you have absolutely no money, YouTube's a great business model for you. If you have a few $1,000s saved up and you're looking to turn that into 5 or 6 figures, then dropshipping is a great business model for you. And then last but not least, if you have a good amount of money saved up but you don't have a lot of time, then real estate's a great business for you. If you've been working in the rat race for 5-10 years and you've been able to save up upwards of $30,000 to $50,000, then leaving that money in the bank it's just, you're wasting money. You could be buying that first property and turning it into something very profitable. So that's really all I have to say in that regard.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously this is a little bit more directed to people who don't know where to start, but to anybody listening, put your money to use. You have money sitting in the bank. It's literally losing value as time passes. I think we may have covered everything we wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
So just a little recap. Habits is the first place for anybody to start. I do want to say another quick thing about habits. And the reason that it's so difficult to keep good habits compared to bad habits is that good habits have no short-term ROI, return on investment. So what I mean by that is, if you read a full book about, by a successful businessman, you're not going to get rich the next day. If you watch a Netflix episode or episodes, you feel really good in the moment. And so that short-term, almost like a short-term high,
it's a motivational
makes
high.
It click every single time. What do you say, Jared?
A motivational high.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of what we look for with good habits, is that if you can think long-term and understand that reading 20 pages a day, listening to an hour podcast, maybe meditating for 10 minutes a day, small habits like these will compound over time for exponential results, right? So even if these good habits don't have the short-term ROI, and just with every single thing that you do in life, you need to think long-term.
Yeah.
We also talked about Google. Google is your friend. Anything you want to learn about, Google and YouTube, don't shy away from learning. That Les Brown quote, I have it hung up right in front of me, actually. So always be learning, and so you're ready for when that time comes to start the business. And last but not least, the business models. We outlined 3 business models that you guys can get started with. We actually have introduction videos kind of explaining these business models in even more depth on our website at havetmorethanmoney.com. Jared, is there anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, guys, listen. Mike really said it perfectly. In the end of the day, there's 2 parts of your mind. There's the conscious and the subconscious. And as we mentioned, your life is the sum of all your decisions. So the only way to become successful is to tap into your subconscious. And the only way to tap into your subconscious is to continuously make the right decision. So for instance, for me and Mike, we had to decide that we wanted to start our first business. And at first it wasn't easy, you know. We had to consciously decide to work towards our business every single day until 3 to 6 months later, our subconscious took over for us. And now we don't have to decide to work on our business. We just wake up and work on our business. And that is how you will succeed. If you do anything for 3 weeks, it becomes a habit. But guess what? Habits come and go. If you do anything for 3 months, it becomes a lifestyle. Show me that you can put 3 months of hard work into your business, and it's pretty safe to say that you'll probably become very successful, because once you've done it for 3 months, you're never going to want to quit. You know, the great quote, "I didn't come this far to only come this far," you know, and that's the exact approach me and Mike took. So guys, you know, we outlined the 3 business models. We outlined, you know, financially which one would make sense for you. And ultimately, if you want to take action, the best thing you can do is join our program, havemorethanmoney.com. You know, you can tell how knowledgeable me and Mike are, and we're very happy to spread that knowledge to you. So, you know, join the program, get mentored with us, partner with us. We offer both programs, and, you know, we're happy to work with you, and we hope to see you guys there.
Yep. Be sure to like the video if you liked it. Swing to subscribe if you guys want some more, you know, business entrepreneurship talks, and, you know, leave a comment if you guys want to see something, a future video. You know, we're happily taking video requests. So We'll see you guys in the next video.
Wasn't bad at all.